Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel for the newest immigration news. We hope you are doing great. In today's video we will be discussing the case of extending interview waivers for some non-immigrant visa applicants and U.S. Immigration News Weekly Recap April 7, 2023. So to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Extension of interview waivers for non-immigrant visa applicants. The Trump administration gave consular officers temporary authority to waive in-person interviews for certain non-immigrant visa applicants, targeting those who had previously passed the interview and biometric screening process. This authority has been extended multiple times by the Biden administration and is now in effect until the end of 2023. In light of the apparent improvements in efficiency, many stakeholders are already calling for the policy to be permanent. However, limited outcome data is actually available in evaluating this policy's efficacy. We know that the Department of State, DOS, objected nearly half of all non-immigrant visas issued in the last fiscal year without an in-person interview, amounting to nearly 3.5 million visas. As a proportion of all non-immigrant visa applicants, an estimated 30% of applicants are thought to be eligible for the waiver, funneling the remaining 70% into the queue for in-person interviews. Appointments. The exceedingly long wait times for consular interviews have been a headlining issue for years. Business visitors have postponed travel, and conferences have been relocated to accommodate visa setbacks. However, the extension of the interview waiver program seems to have played a significant role in improving those wait times within the past several months. DOS saw a 22% decrease in average global wait time for interview-required student and exchange visitor applicants. Similarly, the wait times for interview-required temporary worker applicants dropped by 30% and for B1, B2 visitors requiring interviews by 11%. With some consulates reporting visitor visa appointment wait times of over 700 days in November of 2022. A decrease to 157 days on average marks a stark decline. This drop can be attributed in part to the availability of interview waivers. Evaluating the efficacy of interview waivers. Wait times are only one metric for evaluating the effectiveness of interview waivers. We can also compare refusal rates to assess if in-person interviews correlate with a greater likelihood of visa refusal. As average across nationalities, B1, B2 refusal rates have decreased since introducing interview waivers. However, the lower rates are generally consistent with the rates of refusal seen during the final years of the Obama administration. Foreign categories worldwide refusal rates have also decreased. Still, given the significant fluctuations in application quantities, the average change in diffusion rates from one year to the next only amounted to about 0.1% from 2015 to 2022. Overstay rates as a measure of efficacy. Overstay rates are another relevant measure of efficacy. One goal of the visa interviews is to evaluate the long-term intentions of visa applicants, so virtual or waive interviews could have interfered with those evaluations. Indeed, the available data shows no indication that they did. While the latest overstay data has yet to be released, we can look at H2 eligible country lists as a function of those rates. To be eligible for participation in the H2 visa program, a country must comply with the Department of Homeland Security and DOS standards regarding fraud, abuse, overstays, and other conditions. For countries' nationals exhibit heightened levels of any of these factors, it will likely be removed from the list for the following year. Comparing the list of countries designated in 2021 to the countries designated in 2023 based on 2020 and 2022 overstay rates and fraud statistics respectively, we find that early Moldova was on the list in 2021 and not in 2023. This could indicate that Moldovan nationals may have had higher overstay rates in 2022 than in 2020. In contrast, based on 2022 statistics, 6 countries ineligible in 2021 are now eligible, suggesting that these countries have experienced a decrease in overstay rates and other non-compliant behavior. With a 6-to-1 ratio of gains versus losses, it is likely that overall overstay rates decline. Additional actions to improve visa interviews. Based on the limited data currently available, taken together, these statistics suggest that the interviewer program has significantly benefited the U.S. by shortening wait times without costly changes, refusal, or oversteroids. The U.S. can take additional action to improve the accessibility of visa interviews and drive down wait times that hurt Americans and their businesses. The DOS could increase English language interview offerings. Capitalize on foreign service applicants by inviting them to join the Consular Affairs Bureau if they fall short of reaching the overall assessment. And create and improve mechanisms for accountability and staff sharing among U.S. consulates. Like the interview waiver program, these practice improvements could better the immigration experience for American sponsors and immigrants alike without compromising the security or integrity of our laws. U.S. Immigration News Weekly Recap, April. Now let's talk about U.S. Immigration News Weekly Recap, April 7, 2023. ICE gathers data from abortion clinics and schools. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is using orders, also known as 1509 customs summons, and to obtain records in a way that some experts say could be illegal. According to a new Wired investigation, from 2016 to the middle of 2022, the agency issued 159s more than 170,000 times. The orders are meant to being used to investigate customs violations, but Wired found the agency used them to obtain information unrelated to customs fraud, including from a youth soccer league, a major abortion provider, and an elementary school. USCIS News. USCIS creates first-ever virtual service center. USCIS has opened a virtual service center to process requests for humanitarian immigration relief, including visas for victims of domestic violence and grant. In an effort to reduce backlogs and improve processing times, the new center is USCIS' sixth service center and its first-ever virtual one. In an interview, the agency's director Muir Jado called it an important milestone. DHS is now accepting immigrants' self-identified gender identity on forms. Immigrant visa applicants will now be permitted to specify their own gender identity on forms even if it does not match the gender identity shown in their supporting documents. USCIS announced the policy update on Friday, adding that immigrants do not need to submit proof of their gender identity when requesting a change to their gender marker, unless they are submitting Form N-565 used to apply for a replacement naturalization certificate or citizenship document. USCIS removes to 60-day rule on medical exam form. USCIS has removed a 16-day rule for physician signatures of the immigration medical exam results form. Green card applicants who filed after March 31st can submit Form I-693 up to 2 years after the civil surgeon signs it. Previously, applicants had to make sure a civil surgeon signed the form within 60 days of submitting the green card application or risk undenial. That's all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information was insightful. See you later in the next video.